hang around to the end of the video to get your hands on 3 velocity testing inspection bags, the ones that I've shown off. Pictures here, little video of it spinning around. I did, very happy, very proud of myself. Hang around to the end of the video and I will show you guys how to enter the giveaway. Hi guys, right, this is a very strange one. I'm currently sat at home and it's a Wednesday. So I'll put a clip here, so I don't know if this video's come out yet or not because my timeline with videos is all sort of merged around at the moment because of the situation I'm in. But I did this. That's just a video of my back. I'm too hammered in. So in this little snippet, I was obviously hammering wooden posts in the ground to attach double sockets to, and I severely jarred my back, my lower side. Once a year my back goes, and it's a common thing for me. When I was younger, I think I was about 17, I tried to deadlift something that was too heavy and incorrectly, pulled the bottom of my back out, and then every year since it will always do the same thing. And I've just dealt with it all these years now. I'm 17, so oh god, that was 12 years ago. Oh my god, I'm getting old. Anyway, pulled my back, could barely walk the rest of the day. We went home, and long story short, I knew I had a bad back, and it was going to be a week or so of me not having a lot of mobility with it. So I actually rang Amy the Spark, she's fairly local to us, and said, I'm starting a light rewire tomorrow, can you come and give Adam a hand and I can sort of just stand around and supervise, because I know I wasn't going to be a lot good. And she, yeah, no problem at all, Nick. She dropped what she was doing. Fantastic to her, like genuinely, really helped us out. But then it came the next morning, and I physically couldn't get out of bed. 6 attempts to get out of bed, a few tears were shed, fell over several times, just a crippling pain. And I know a lot of guys can probably resonate with this, with all the people I've spoken to so far about it. They're in the same boat sometimes, you know, friends where they've had bad backs for absolute years and years and years, and it will never go away. And obviously you got one back. Once that's gone, it's gone. So trying to take care of it and look after it. So went to that, and my other half was like, you need to ring the doctors, you need to go and get seen because it's never going to get better. So I rang my local doctors up, and weirdly enough they actually managed to get me in straight away, and headed there. And what I managed to do, I've torn the muscle my lower left hand side of my back next to my spine, which isn't good. And he said to me, right, you can't get back to work this afternoon, like you can't do any of this, you need to literally go and rest, painkillers, get better, and have a month off work. And instantly being self-employed, I laughed at him and went, that's a good joke, I get where you're coming from. And he knows, he said, you're self-employed, I said all that sort of malarkey, and it's very difficult for people who are self-employed. And yeah, I do actually have insurances and whatnot, and I tried to do a research beforehand for this video, but unless, I think for a broken leg or stuff that's going to put me off work for longer than a month, I can claim for, and it will offset my bills and whatnot a little bit. And I think I pay about £45 a month with this sort of stuff. And I have literally had this insurance since I started being self-employed, because I played a lot of rugby back in the day, and it was I had to have the rugby insurance to be able to play if I was self-employed, which I've never ever once claimed for it, because I've really never had more than 1 or 2 days off work. I had a flying headbutt years ago, I got a scar across the top of my nose, fractured my eye sockets, I got a radial fracture onto the inside of my eye sockets and my skull, broke the nose, the bone out, and I was alright. I just got fat black eyes, don't get me wrong, and a banging headache. But then I was stupid enough, and 2 weeks later when the team asked me to play because they needed me, I played against a prison, believe it or not. We actually played prisoners, and backwards and forwards with rugby banter as it is, and the guy that couldn't catch me or couldn't tackle me, long story short, he kicked me in the head when I was on the floor and perforated both my eardrums and gave me another concussion, and that just sent me doolally. So I actually had about 4 days off work because I couldn't stand upright. But then I looked into it then and said, you know, I'm loss of earnings. This was before kids or mortgage and everything, and I'm pretty much sure the consensus where you can't, if you're off work for longer than a month you can claim, but before that, not really. So it's where you guys stand, because now I have a mortgage to pay, I have my van to pay, I have a truck that I have to pay, I have an apprentice I have to pay my other half, I have 3 kids, I have a unit I have to pay. There's so many things that cost money in the background. If I'm not earning, then what happens? And luckily enough, I can be off for a week and a half. I'm actually on holiday next week. I've just gone painkillered up. I'm doing some bits and bobs in the background, hence why I'm sat here. You've probably seen me sat here a few times on a few different videos. I'm just trying to get good use of my time, sat down with a hot water bottle on my back, just trying to relax. But how do you guys go about it? You know, luckily enough that I have been able to work up enough and I've got a good float in my business account. And that was one of my goals, going back to my previous videos of setting goals, going through with work, how you achieve the next step. I wanted a good float and I set a limit. I'm not going to tell you how much, but it's a very good amount. I want to set this float up in my account, so if I have to have a month off work or 2 months off work, or I can pay Adam for a year outright, it's not an issue. So for me currently as it is, I'm absolutely fine financially. I'm going to have 2 weeks off work. I've got a backlog of YouTube videos anyway, so you guys, realistically, by the time this probably comes out, I'll be back at work and back to normal. But yeah, it was just a situation of how do some people go about it. Have you all got insurances? If not, why not? Because it only takes one slip of a ladder or one floorboard up, you've broken your ankle. A friend of myself and Amy, RJ Holmes Electrical on Instagram, a silly thing of he stepped out the van awkward, twisted his ankle, and I think he's broken his ankle. He runs a business, he employs several guys, he should be okay, but him now as the main man, he's out of action, can't drive, all that sort of stuff. So do you guys have stuff in place? Is what's happened to you in the past? Have you guys had a long period of time off work and paid? I'm just interested to know everyone's thoughts and stories that have been behind this, because it's a big thing and it's a bad thing if something happens. I remember a long time ago, my dad's car, he worked for a big firm in Birmingham, and his car was getting stolen as he was going to the car park, and he actually managed to, long story short, I can't ask my dad this, he's not here anymore, but I remember things when I was younger that he said, and he clung to the side of the car and they were halfway down the road and he fell out, smashed his head on the curb. He was off work for about 7-8 weeks, I think. He was employed at the time, thank God, so obviously he got sick pay. But it's silly things like this when I had the idiots that tried to break into my van and I caught them red-handed. You know, I had a bit of a mess around with the one guy and the other guy nearly got the better of me. But if that had happened then and I'd got injured at that point, where would I have stood with finances, paying for stuff? You know, it's a tricky situation, and I'm interested to know how you guys get around it. Does everyone have insurance, or are we all just hoping for the best? So yeah, that's my situation at the moment. I'm on the mend. It is what it is, a bad back. It's nothing worse, just a bit of rest and then some physio afterwards, and then potential acupuncture afterwards as well. Ugh. So yeah, anyway, look after yourself guys, get some insurance if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Right, to enter the giveaway for the Velocity test and inspection bags, I have one, Adam has one, we adore them. I did a review on them, they're awesome. A lot of people have already ordered some as well. Velocity sent me 3 of them to give... Let's do it that way. 3 of them to give away. And they're currently in the unit, and what I'm going to do, I'll put a picture on Instagram. It will be something like this picture. What you'll have to do, go across to Instagram, and I know you guys that aren't on YouTube complain sometimes that they can't do a cross, but it's an Instagram thing with Velocity, so head across to my page, I'll put all the stuff below, like the picture, tag 2 friends. It's UK only, unfortunately, and there'll be more details on the description on the picture, but go check it out, and best of luck. Bye.